Yo, what's up, guys? So I'm finally back from spring break, man. Had a good time hanging out with some family for a week and not dealing with school stuff, but we are finally back and we got some fighting game news to talk about. So in case you haven't heard, a New Japan fighting game publisher Roundtable is happening right around the corner. This is going to be happening on March 21st, and the companies you can expect to be here are going to be Capcom, ArcSys, SNK, Sega, Arika, and Bandai Namco. And of course, it's going to be much like the other previous ones. You can expect updates to titles and the devs just having nice, good discussions. Of course, they never promise big reveals here, but usually we get a few here and there. So this is going to be very good. I'm glad we're finally getting the third one. I think this is mainly more so for like the developers themselves more than like for us. Because a lot of people, when they watch it, they're expecting like a bunch of big stuff to happen. And it's not really that. It's just a lot more so of the developers just discussing and talking about the games, right? The developers are sitting here and they're talking about basically their development of their games and how everything's going. They're asking each other questions or just talking about certain things that they had trouble with. And then sometimes maybe the other developer there will give them some tips or talk about their related issue in accordance to what they just heard and stuff like that. So very good. And also, of course, this is how we probably got a lot of the word around for Rollback Netcode. You know, when this was happening, they kept asking about like questions and stuff like that people wanted to like talk about. And of course, rollback was a very big thing around this time because this is when the pandemic was at its high, and a lot of people just want to hear what developers thought about it, would they be trying to implement it. And of course, they could not prolong the conversation anymore. They had to talk about it. So of course, they each were talking about their trials and errors with rollback and like the difficulty it has for them and stuff like that. And some of the other developers is like trying to give tips and stuff like that. So very good conversations that we have as far as stuff like this. You know, now that we're having more of these, we can start trying to implement other things, especially if they want to ask other questions from the viewers of this. Like, what do we want to hear them talk about? You know, a lot of big things that people are really trying to see as far as these companies do now is definitely crossplay. Like, crossplay is a very big thing that people want to see inside of games. You know, for Xbox, PC, and PlayStation to be able to play together, Nintendo Switch as well, for all these systems to be able to play together. So we can have a much larger player pool, so we're not separated from each other anymore. Because, you know, that time of day, those days are over, right? Those days should be over. So that's definitely something that a lot of people want to see. Capcom has definitely done something like that, where the PlayStation and the Steam version can play each other. And of course, more people are just trying to figure out ways around it, because there's always different things you hear. Sometimes they say it's like PlayStation. Sometimes they say it's like it's just too hard or it's too expensive or some things. There's always something different that you hear about it. So let's get down to the core of what that is. But super excited to have one of these. I don't really know exactly what to expect. If there is an announcement, I'm guessing ArcSys could announce at least a small teaser of the next character we had biking for quite a while now. I want to say for at least a good month, right? A good month or two now. She came out in January, right? So I think it's about time we get on to the next reveal for the next character. So I believe ArcSys could show something. As far as the other people, Tekken's definitely not getting another season, so we don't got to worry about that, I'm pretty sure. And of course, we're not going to hear anything about Dragon Ball FighterZ, I'm pretty sure. Capcom, they said we're not going to hear anything about Street Fighter 6 until like summer, so I doubt we're going to see anything about that. Maybe, I don't know, they'll talk about more about the actual other thing that's coming out for Capcom, the collection or whatever. But overall, my favorite experience about this is just it's a time for the developers to be a little bit more transparent than like how they were before, you know. Shout outs to Harada, I believe was the one that actually made this into a thing when the pandemic was happening. Just like, hey, let's get some of the developers together. And it's like really hard for them to do this, for them to like, actually come together and like speak about their projects and stuff like this at a time like this. So it's very hard, but he still somehow manages to put this together. So shout out to Harada to actually making this possible. And just having developers come together and discuss things that they normally just don't discuss together all the time. So I just like that they actually are able to do this. And of course, just talk about problems and of course be more transparent with the viewers themselves about things that are working on or things they had difficulty implementing and stuff like that. Hopefully, I want to hear if ArcSys is going to talk about crossplay themselves, because I remember them talking about Guilty Gear Strive was supposed to have crossplay or is something that they wanted to work towards. So I wonder if that's something that they actually been trying to implement. And I wonder how the progress on that actually is working. So I definitely want to hear more about that. If that's something that Daisuke want to talk about, we can see the people that actually are going to be here. I believe the list is actually up. So of course we got the MC himself. Then of course we got Daisuke. And then of course we got Katano. I believe last time Mori was actually here. And of course a lot of people were expecting some big BlazBlue news that be happening. Or maybe something to do with like an English version of the mobile game. And it was just him talking about the mobile game that still never had an English version. Of course, I believe the servers actually are down now, unfortunately. So yeah, Mori isn't here at this one. What's going on with BlazBlue, man? Where's the BlazBlue news? What's going on with BlazBlue? Anything anything Blaze Blue happening, we're probably not going to see it here because Maury's not here. So there's nothing that's just under the works for now for whatever Team Blue is doing. So not going to be here. And then of course we got more people here. I'll put the list down so you guys can see. Of course, Arata himself, and then you got you know, representatives from Sega, representatives from Capcom. The Capcom team definitely been doing good. Those two guys that took over since Ono, they definitely been doing a lot of good work. So glad to see them, of course, you know, being able to be inside of this and actually take part and actually give their insight about things that have been happening for Street Fighter and stuff like that here as well. So yeah, guys, nothing too crazy. Like I said, this will be happening on March 21st. So I'll definitely be trying to take a look at this on the stream. Definitely just be doing a live reaction to it and giving my initial thoughts and impressions about the things that we talked about. This is supposed to be like 2 hours 30 minutes, so not too bad. We'll definitely be able to do that on stream. This will be a pretty good stream right here, so definitely look forward to more videos of topics about things that they talked about here, or some reactions to some announcements if we get anything big. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Let me know what you want to see here at the Fighting Game Roundtable. Is there any announcements you want to see or any discussions you want to see the developers have at this Fighting Game Roundtable that's going to be happening here shortly? Definitely want to know what you guys got to say down in the comments below. Anyway, if you got anything you got to say, drop me a like. I greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, follow my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn notifications so the next video goes live. As always, my name is Daikin, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.